This time we're doing a Roald Dahl challenge. If you want to have a refresher on what a challenge is, you can always go back to our movies challenge.
So we have our 4 favorite books by Roald Dahl. We have James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the BFG, and Matilda. So inside this hat, there are 4 Scrabble tiles, a J, a C, a B, and an M. Each one represents a book. So we each are going to pick one, and whatever one we pick, we will build a scene from that book or a character.
Yes, so we're doing 2 hours. We have 2 hours to complete however much we can from that book. And we're gonna do half an hour, check in every half an hour. All right, we can go ahead and pick now. All right, I got B, so I'm doing the BFG.
I got C, so I'm doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. All right, let's start building. So the first 30 minutes is down. So for my scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I am doing the chocolate room where everything's edible and there's this chocolate river. So first I made the boat that they go on along the chocolate river, and I'm pretty much done with it, I think. I don't think I'm gonna add any characters in though, because with the chairs right next to each other, it might be tricky for them to fit. And then I just started on the famous chocolate waterfall, because that's the only way to churn the chocolate correctly so that it's creamy enough, according to Mr. Wonka. So that's what I did for the first half an hour.
Okay, so first quarter, I got the BFG, and what I'm making to start off with is actually the BFG. So I made his head and face. That took a little while, but I feel pretty good about it. So his eyes, nose, and mouth, and then he has huge ears because he can hear all these different sorts of things. And he has a vest, and I'm starting to work on his body. Done an hour and you have an hour to go. I got the BFG. Last time I basically did his face, I finished his body, and then this time I also finished his briefcase, which he holds the wishes in, and his trumpet-like instrument, which he blows wishes into the windows with. And then I also started making this house that Matilda stays in, and I'm gonna make him getting her out of her window, and that's what I'm gonna work on next. So during the second quarter, you may be able to see I just did a bunch of bricklaying. So I have the chocolate river, which is running along, and then I'm building up some green space around it. That way it would look a little odd if the chocolate river was a brick up from everything else. So I'm building all the green so that it's on the same level, and then I'm gonna decorate it with all the trees, like the chocolate room in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. quarter's done. I got the BFG, and I was working on Sophie's. She lives in an orphanage, so I was working on building that orphanage. And so there are a bunch of beds, and everyone's asleep except for Sophie. And I made the BFG reaching through her window. And that's what I've got so far.
All right, so in the third quarter, you may be able to tell, first I finished all of placing the green bricks. Down here I had to, so they're all placed now. And then I decorated the ground floor a little bit. I'm not completely finished with all of the decorating in the chocolate room. There are still a few blank spaces, but I'm putting a bunch of like flowers and trees, and all of it is edible. Not literally though. Legos would taste terrible. And then also I have the golden ticket. I built this as a side. So you can see there's the W on it and it's a golden. So that gives admittance to people to go in.
Okay, so now we finished the challenge. We've done 2 hours, and I got the BFG. So the first thing that I made was the BFG himself. He's brick built, one of the first brick built characters I've made. And I have his trumpet-like instrument that he uses to blow dreams into people, and then his giant suitcase where he holds the dreams. And this is the orphanage that Sophie stays in, and this is Sophie. And you can see the BFG is reaching in for Sophie because he's going to bring her back to the giant world because she saw him. And then the other 2 things which I did in this final quarter are I made this shelf full of dreams because that's the BFG's job. He basically gives people dreams. And there are all sorts of colors and characteristics depending on what the dream is about. So I made those. And then I also made a snozzcumber, which is basically what the BFG eats instead of humans, because he's vegetarian basically. And the snozzcumber is basically a disgusting green cucumber-like vegetable. And when Sophie is trying to escape from one of the giants, she has to hide inside of the snozzcumber. So you can see her legs sticking out from in there. And so Sophie's hiding this snozzcumber right now. And that's what I did for the BFG, for this Roald Dahl challenge.
Okay, so now that the 2 hours is up, and I got Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, so this is the scene that I built. So I built the chocolate room. So everything in the room is edible, so there's all kinds of naturey looking things that are actually candy, so they are able to kind of run riot and eat everything. And then there's also this chocolate river, because the best way to churn chocolate is by waterfall. And they have a boat that runs along the river, so this is the fancy boat. And then we have all kinds of funny little plant type things that are made out of candy. And then also I made this golden ticket, because this is what basically gives Charlie and the 4 other children the chance to see the inside of Mr. Wonka's factory. All right, so that was our first ever challenge where we built scenes from books. We did books by Roald Dahl only because there are so many book options. And I got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I got the BFG, and we both had a lot of fun doing our respective builds. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time at Creative Kids Studios.